for after the show.
All right.
It involves work. It wasn't a pretty picture.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. We're live now. Just
Oh, hey.
Oh, Craig's back on. We have to stop.
That's right.
that's all, folks.
Donna's flight is delayed. She's coming home tonight.
You have to go pick her up at a certain time. Are you going to be able to?
Oh, yeah. It'll be a little late, but maybe I'll have a second nap. I don't know.
Oh, she's going to be late or you're going to be late?
She's going to be late. I gotta pick her up at the airport. Her flight is now half hour behind.
We'll be right back.
Oh, now he's leaving.
Now I gotta pick up the show notes and go, what is it I'm reading now? We have links to lots of little videos in the Strange New Worlds thing.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them.
Is Hemmer an Andorian? Aren't
Yes.
Andorians supposed to be blue?
He is.
He looks very pale.
Well, he's blind.
And he looks more like a White Walker from Game of Thrones.
Well,
What's with the cheeks?
we got introduced to them on Enterprise, right?
Not all the crew.
No. The Hemmer's species, because they're the
Oh, so they're not Andorians. Or
well, they are, but they're subspecies.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I like seeing subspecies of peoples because, it's kind of like all over the earth.
Indeed.
Una, isn't she on that cartoon? What is it? I watched it. It's the Matt Groening production.
No, she's in Pulp Fiction. No, that's Uma. Never mind.
Uma Thurman.
And Kill Bill.
And Kill Bill, right. You'll poke your eye out.
Yeah.
All righty.
We ready?
I think we're ready to go.
Yay.
Okay, Craig, give me a sound check real quick.
Here's your check. It's number 302.
It bounced.
Oh, crap. Again?
Yeah, your sanity check bounced.
Actually, I'm going to stand up.
Take that browser tab and put it there.
I shall stand.
Good luck with that.
Stand and deliver this package.
That's right.
Stephen King wrote a book called The Stand.
You couldn't put it down. Hey.
If you did, you'd break your coffee table. That was a big book.
It was a big book. Yes, it was.
Hey, someone's out there watching. Thank you very much. We're just doing the pre-show right now, getting everything lined up. And I believe we are ready. So,
okay.
You ready? Warm up those vocal cords, Clinton. Perfect. I'm sorry, that Hawaii song just jumped in my head again. Let's go crazy. We're going. 5, 4, 3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 112 for Friday, April 8th, 2022. Coming up in this episode, lots of stuff. We have First Contact Day, and we have 2 episodes of Picard, and we have a unique kind of Warp Speed Roundtable. That's right, all that and more coming up right now on The Topic is Trek. First Contact Dazed. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it. Sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed episode, a giant-sized episode a ton of episode. What am I trying to say? It's an episode of The Topic is Trek. I'm one of your co-hosts, Clinton, and beaming in to join me, as always, from parts unknown with the new hip catchphrase that all the kids are talking about is Mr. Craig Step.
Who loves you, baby?
It's nice. It's a nice
Come on,
sentiment.
come on.
Don't get me wrong. It's a nice
Yeah,
sentiment.
right.
But I think it's taken already.
You're really
Oh.
reaching deep this time.
Probably
And
a little
that-
farther than some listeners know of. I don't know.
And the other voice we just heard is beaming in is also Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
Hey, I want to know where you got those bullets for what's coming up in this episode because they were in the show notes. And what's even funnier is when I put the live stream thing together this afternoon, I didn't have anything either. So I said, news and reviews, ... all that and more.
Oh, yeah.
So we are winging it tonight.
Well, I could have said coming up in this episode, ellipse, but I didn't do that.
Right.
Lips.
But it was seamless. It just went off without a hitch. So no problem whatsoever. Well, gentlemen, a belated happy first contact day.
And same to you.
And okay, point to the little anatomical doll and tell where first contact was made.
No, we're not going to
No.
do that. No.
A little Care Bear.
Wow, I think we better get right to subspace chatter. Well, of course, we can't do that without
approval.
Without approval. So I'm going to ask Charlie, is it okay to start up subspace chatter?
When did he become an executive producer of this company?
It's in his contract.
You don't need all that subspace chatter.
And there you are.
I think
Boy,
we'll
I
have
can't. I'm hoping this whole alternate reality thing changes that.
We let him have the title because, we didn't want to upset him.
That's right. Or give him more money. One or the other.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
right.
despite what Charlie said, Chuck, why don't you start us off with our first subspace chatter article?
Absolutely. Just ahead of First Contact Day on April 5th, or April 5th, I should say, as it's known to the uninitiated, Paramount Plus began releasing short videos featuring the main characters for the upcoming Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Sorry for the delay. I had to find the reverb button.
Wow.
There were 9 in all. Captain Christopher Pike, Mr. Spock, Lieutenant Commander Una Chin Riley, Nurse Christine Chapel, Dr. Mbenga, and the Inarian. I hope I said that close. I mean no offense to Inarians. Engineer Hemmer. We got Lieutenant Commander Erica Ortegas, Lieutenant Commander Lan Nunian Singh. Where have I heard that name before? And Cadet Yoda Uhura. Cadet. That's cool. She had to work her way up over the years. All right, we get to see her early resume. And as if that was not enough, all these character sketches were immediately followed up by a series trailer that seems to show action from several episodes of the first season. We have links to all the videos in the show notes for episode 112, First Contact Dazed, over at thetopicustrek.com.
Actually, I was excited when they showed. I get it was Uhura's first, I think, and then they showed Leon's next, and I was like, okay, they're going to show one every day. Sure enough, they showed one every day, and I was getting excited. And when we saw the final, the whole teaser or trailer, I guess, really, because it gave us a little bit of details, I was excited. I thought it looked fantastic, and I'm I don't know. I couldn't have been more excited. I would have paid good money to watch it right now.
Quick reminder, you have to wait until May 5th. May
right.
5th. 5/5. Cinco de Mayo is when you get your Star Trek.
They're not
Strange
taking
New
PayPal
Worlds.
payments?
No, you can't see it early with PayPal. Although I think there's going to be a premiere of the first episode. I want to say it's going to be a Comic-Con, but I could be wrong about that. But I think there will be
Patreon.
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 Yeah. The entire season was funded by crowdsourcing. Absolutely.
Well, my chances of seeing it there and here are the same then, because I'm not going there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were interesting. The character sketches gave you just a bit of information about characters that you really know nothing about, such as Hemmer and Ortegas. Uhura's was interesting because I forget whether it's her specific sketch or the Strange New Worlds trailer, but there is one shot that puzzle this one out. There's one shot where she no longer has the cadet badge and she has a TOS style low cut top red shirt on. So it's not it's not the Strange New Worlds outfit at all. And she's no longer a cadet. And it's just like, what was that shot? Wait, hold on a second here. What happened there?
Right.
So I don't know what all that was about, but we got to see the nice thing was
Time travel.
Yeah, a little bit of everyone, and I feel like, and it feels horrible for me to say this, but I feel like I know more about these characters now than I do about half the bridge crew of Discovery, and this is like,
unfortunately, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah,
yes,
that's a good observation.
But
Well,
another reminder about I know this is real short term, but Star Trek Mission Chicago is this weekend as we record this. We're recording this on the 7th, and it will be the 8th and 9th. It might be the 8th, 9th, 10th, or is it 7, 8, 9? I can't remember. It's a 3-day experience.
There's a link down in the show notes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
A lot of names on this. Wow. I'm looking at the guest list. This is crazy.
Well, this is an official Star Trek Paramount event.
This puts the cruise guest list to shame.
Right. This is the replacement for Vegas. Because this is the first convention by the people that are now running the official Star Trek conventions.
I wish I was going.
Well, the nice thing about it is that the concept is that it will move around rather than always being in Vegas. Just like it is next year will be. I don't think they've announced where it's going to be, but it will
Phoenix,
different cities.
Great. So I got to move in Target to try and hit. Great.
You just wait for it to come to you. I'm sure Charlotte's on the map.
I'll be like this. I'll be on the opposite side.
It's like the Olympics. They have to bid. The city has to bid for it and build a big stadium.
When you think about it, Charlotte is always on the bill anyway. It's just that the people never get out of the airport. They just, they come in and they leave again. So that one's always there.
Growing up, I never went to a Star Trek convention. One, I never really heard about them because they never came to Charlotte. That was the thing. There was nothing in Charlotte for a long time.
You should put in your request now. Although I've got a feeling before the end of this coming weekend, they will announce where next year's mission is going to be held. I just have this feeling.
They
Alaska. Yay!
Tokyo. They're moving it around the globe. Like what's the World Writers Convention or something?
Yeah, the World Science Fiction Convention.
That's it.
All right. Okay. So
next story.
Speaking of First Contact Day, then on April 5th, also the newly remastered version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the Director's Edition, premiered on Paramount Plus. This new 4K edition includes all of the changes of director Robert Wise's supervised for the 2001 DVD release, plus a few of his requests that were beyond the technology for the time, and the budget constraints of that version. Both the picture and the sound are superior, I would agree, to any previous edition, including the original theatrical cut in '79. In fact, it was Wise's hope that that this would become the definitive version of the film. He felt it was as close as possible to the edit he could have delivered in the film if it wasn't rushed to meet its December 9th, 1979 premiere. So here you go. It's all right there on Paramount Plus for you to experience the full Dolby Atmos soundscape and see the film on the big screen. We remind you that on May 23rd, and 25th.
Yes, well,
there's a time conundrum.
We love the date so much we named it twice. How about 22nd?
We went around the sun so we could see the premiere twice.
Yes,
it's not the 24th. Okay. So late May 22nd, 23rd, and 25th. Part of the Fathom events, they do operas and all that kind of Doctor Who. I saw Doctor Who in the theater because of Fathom.
I like that joke. They do operas and Doctor Who.
Well, I was thinking of all the things that they do. They offer plays and all kinds of really cool events.
They do. They show classic movies, all sorts of things.
Yeah. They do that. Didn't they do some mystery science fiction theater a couple times? Something like that.
Yes, I believe they do riff tracks sometimes, I think, or Fathom events.
Riff tracks. Yeah. Maybe it isn't. So it's a Fathom event. Go check it out. I might be persuaded, twist my arm a little bit to go see it in the theater again.
I'm hoping to. I'm really hoping to. I think it's going to be a last minute decision for me because I'm working on a very big project right now. But
Yeah.
eh,
Take some time off.
yeah, what the heck with that?
Hey, it was. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see it, Chuck?
Yes, I did. I had a big bowl of popcorn, and I forgot it's like 4 bowls of popcorn long.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you took a bite and.
No, 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 no. It isn't the fastest paced movie, but unfortunately, I remember the storyline well enough to go, yep. And we're gonna spend 2 hours and 45 seconds just watching a star field
Shooting an asteroid and
before it even comes up with anything resembling a title shot.
Well, that is an interesting fact. I think I don't know if we talked about this with the motion picture when we did that in our film review, but it was really one of the last films. I think also that year, the Black Hole also had an overture, and I think those were some of the last movies. There've been a spattering since then, but that had overtures, because an overture actually used to be a major thing with a motion picture. And I think that was something Robert Wise was very familiar with. West Side Story had an overture. I'm not sure if Sound of Music had one, but things like Ben-Hur, all these epics would have, just like if you went to a theater, a stage theater, you would have an overture.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think about it being the last one, but that makes a lot of sense. And I actually like the overture. You know, it kind of gets you in the mood, ready to start watching a movie. And you see the star field and it kind of rotating a little bit. And then as soon as the music stops, da, 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 and the stars just go away.
I thought there was not that we're going to do another movie review on this, but Craig was right. The ship shots. I want to make sure I say that right.
Yes, yes,
they were very crisp. You could read USS Enterprise, United Federation of Planets, and the small print on the side. The details were great. There was one camera shot that just had me scratching my head. It's when Spock first comes on the bridge. He's still in his black garb and he's poking around at the science station. And they cut to Kirk, and half the shot behind him is blurry. And then there's sort of this delineation where
it's the lenses that they were using that was
it was one of those. It's one of those shots,
lens.
And they've done that. They've done this before.
It's a bifocal shot from side to side.
Yeah, it is. It's a bifocal shot because there's some elements on the side, the opposite side you want in focus, and they obviously can't have them all in focus.
It was just a crewman standing back there on the right of the screen. It was
actually he had to be in focus.
It was the high forehead guy who looked like he was one of the sewer mutants from Futurama. I knew I'd get Craig with that one.
Oh my God.
You'll never watch the movie the same way again.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was it was kind of fun watching it, and I've seen it so many times and Clinton was saying the same thing as we were chatting a little bit back and forth. I've seen it so many times that movie's burned in my brain. So when I see the little differences, I'm going, that's out of place. That's out of place. That's out of place. And it was like little scenes. And I even played the 79 and the Paramount one at the same time. And I had them synced up. The voices were almost just right at sync. And shortly thereafter, they were drifting.
I don't have a VHS player. I'm sorry. I
don't either. Actually, I have it on Google Play. Yeah, VHS.
Yeah. You guys were kind of doing the same thing I did when I got the DVD when it first came out. It's like, well, what are all the little things?
Right.
And I was mentioning some of them to Craig that I don't think even he was realizing when he saw it that it was something that had been missing that was there now. Because I was talking about the fact that when they come out of the wormhole that they get sucked into when the asteroid explodes, you suddenly have the shot of the exterior. You're looking at the Enterprise from the side and you see the bit of debris and the dissipation of the wormhole. Whereas in the original theatrical release, it's just the view screen and suddenly it's just not there anymore. There's like there's no finesse to it. There's no dissipation. It just is gone. And the same thing with the appearance of the probe on the bridge. You now have a shot of the probe getting to the Enterprise hull and then beaming something through the hull, which is was a shot that was not in the original cut. So it's some of these are just those very
continuity.
Yeah, those things that if they had the time, they would have done, or in some cases, the things that they cut out were things like Robert Wise. I don't think really liked the fact that it got a laugh when the first probe doesn't destroy the Enterprise, and Sulu goes, "The new screen's held," because everyone always laughs at that part.
I'm laughing now.
You'll notice that line is not in the film now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is really as close as he could get to. I needed to have a screening of the film and then make adjustments. And they made as many adjustments as they could, given what they had to work with.
Well, even one review I was reading, they said the whole scene with the probe at the beginning, what we were just talking about, almost looked like originally it looked like a whole different, like it flipped over to a different film because of the way it looked and the way it almost like stop motion, a little bit like strobe lights. And now it was like, whoa, I thought it looked much better this time. I'll be honest with you, I haven't probably watched that original director's cut before this one. So if they added or changed some things, I'm probably not so much familiar with it as I am the 79 version for sure.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, we were talking about Chuck, the focus ish in some shots because of the lens they were using. When the extremely bright light, which was being pushed around by somebody on the set that was being moved around to be the probe on the bridge. If you noticed before, there was a warping of the actual image, and the warping is still there, but it's not as intense. Like they were able to smooth some of that out. They didn't
digital stretching.
Yeah, they didn't completely eliminate it, but it's lessened, so it's not a distraction. It's something you have to look for now than you notice it right away.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
yeah, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
Hey, by the way, one comment I did see, I think y'all can both appreciate this. One guy mentioned that he had seen the motion picture more times than he could probably remember, and even more so the first 40 minutes, because there's times I put it on and didn't watch the whole thing, but I've seen the beginning part of that movie a million times more. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
And I also enjoyed, I think it was you, Chuck, that shared somebody's comment that was on Twitter or...
Oh, that was Craig. Yeah.
That about the person that said, wait a minute, the TNG theme song is actually Star Trek the Motion Picture. It's a TOS song? Mind blown. My world is turned upside down.
What? Paul McCartney was in a band before Wings?
Exactly.
Wow, Craig, that was harsh.
All right, but let's move on to our other story, because the big surprise we got on April 5th was about season 3 of Star Trek Picard.
Hooray!
Which recently wrapped up filming in Southern California. In the short video, we see a bespectacled Jean-Luc Picard hand signing a personal note with a voiceover of the Admiral proclaiming, "I am not a man who needs a legacy."
Too late.
We then hear the voices of Geordie LaForge, a voice that I'm guessing is Lore. We can talk about that in a second. Worf, Beverly Crusher, William T. Riker, and Deanna Troi. That's right.
You were there, and you were there, and you were there. It's all a dream.
The entire main cast, depending on how you define that, of Star Trek The Next Generation will be making appearances in the final season of Picard.
No Will Wheaton?
Well,
no Dwight Schultz?
There's no word yet on whether Wesley Crusher or Reginald Barclay or Kate Pulaski or any of the other familiar characters will return, but showrunner Terry Matalas also promises that these are not just cameos, and there will also be starships galore.
Ooh, starship porn. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I want to get your opinion about, we hear Brent's voice in this as one of the voices, but first of all, Data is no longer with us. And the voice is very inflection. It's very emotional to it. And yes, I know Data sometimes had the emotional chip, but I just had this feeling of Lore.
He was disassembled. I thought he was at the Robotics Institute when we started meeting. Was it Agnes?
No, that was before. That wasn't Lore.
Oh, I thought Lore. What was Lore's
Lore before?
What was Lore's outcome? I thought he was destroyed.
He was disassembled a long time ago.
So I don't know, because it just, I mean, now granted, it could be another Sung, because there's always another one of those.
Apparently.
Boy, they're prolific, aren't they?
And really, really strong genes. But it just didn't sound like Data.
I wonder if Adam Soong, who we see in Picard now, is somehow in there. Because remember, in the alternate future, when Q turned things on its head, we saw that statue in the water of Adam Soong. So I wonder if whatever outcomes come out of season 2, that Adam ends up being here.
Because
Could
a
be.
safe galaxy is a human galaxy.
Could be. So all will be revealed in season 3, which is yet to be announced of when it's going to happen, because we still have much more Trek to get to before we can even slot that in. We've got, the rest of this season of Picard. We've got Strange New Worlds. We've got the rest of season 1 of Prodigy. We
Oh my gosh, they're
have
killing us.
season 3 of Lower Decks, and I don't know which would come first. I guess probably Picard would come before Discovery, because I don't know if they've started to film season 5 yet of Discovery. So, but even that pushes us really far into the year, if not next year sometime. So
I have to say, those Soongs though, they're pretty vain. They make all the look like themselves.
Well, not, as we'll discuss, not in the latest episode.
Oh
Indeed.
yeah.
All right, but let's move on to our next story.
So a bit buried by all the Strange New Worlds and Picard news was the fact that we got a sneak peek at footage from the upcoming Star Trek Voyager documentary.
Yes.
Wait, we need the reverb. To the voyage!
Sound like you fell off there. Quick, get him!
In addition to cast members including Tim Russ, Garrett Wang, Robert Beltran, Robert Duncan McNeil, Ethan Phillips, Robert Picardo, and Kate Mulgrew, there are also interviews with the series creators Rick Berman and Jerry Taylor, as well as series executive producer Brandon Braga. Even George Takei shows up. Oh my.
Yeah.
But then George was in an episode of the series, so that makes sense. From what we saw, this promises to be a candid look at this chapter in Trek history. The film is crowdfunded. In fact, it bills itself as the most crowdfunded documentary in the world. Not bad, Voyager. Not bad. There is still no set release date for the film, but we have a link. You know where to find it, over at thetopicistrek.com, episode 112.
That's right.
I'm an enabler, by the way.
Oh, you're responsible for this, are you?
I'm one of them. Yeah. I saw the teaser. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It does look like a candid film. Like they're all I think they all got along for the most part, from what I could tell. And it seems like everybody's kind of joking around, especially Robert Picardo and Ethan Phillips. Oh my God, they look like they're having too good of a time.
The background makes it look like, was that an interview done on the cruise?
There was actually, they had film crews on the cruise, because it was a Voyager themed cruise, because
that was 2020. Yep.
Yeah. 25th anniversary. And so they even announced that that was all part of it. They interviewed a bunch of people on the ship for that.
Yeah, definitely had that vibe to it. But yeah, I think that definitely, even the few stories we were hearing just in these few clips, that, yeah, it's going to be pretty much, we're going to peel back the curtain here, or, go turn off the holodeck emitters and show everything that was kind of going on back there. You have Jerry Taylor admitting, they didn't really need me to create the show, but I was a woman and they felt they needed a woman because it was a woman captain.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, it's funny you bring her up. Well, that she came up today, because I was just listening to the latest episode of Trek Files, and they were talking about Jerry Taylor. I forget who he was interviewing. Anyway, they were talking about bringing a woman on to work the parts, because they were talking about women on the TOS and going forward, and how they had an opportunity to make women a little more forward as far as characters go. And it took a while into TNG to kind of turn that around a little bit, but they didn't do it 100%. But Jerry Taylor had a big hand in that. And then going forward, of course,
right,
into Voyager and whatnot. So I thought it was actually a good episode. So if you get a chance, go subscribe to that podcast, Trek Files.
Absolutely. Friend of the show, Larry Nemechek. Indeed. Yep. All right. Why don't you take us into the next story, Craig?
All right. And an eagle-eyed viewers of Fly Me to the Moon episode of Star Trek Picard noticed something interesting on the card Q created on Adam Sung's 3D printer. It was a phone number. If you called the phone number at area code 323-634-5667, you could hear Q answering the phones for the Q Continuum. Okay, it was John Delancey, but berating you and telling you to stop wasting the continuous time.
Matter of fact, why don't we call right now? Hold on one sec.
Hello, you have reached the Q Continuum. We are unable to get to the phone right now because we are busy living in a plane of existence your feeble mortal minds cannot possibly comprehend. Furthermore, it's pointless to leave a message because we, of course, already knew that you would call, and we simply do not care. Have a nice day.
As gracious as ever.
What a nice guy.
I actually thought at one point, I wonder if this was a spoiler for season 2. He's now answering the phones for the Q Continuum.
Yeah, he's lost all his powers and he's now a call center operator. Would you like to extend the warranty on your car? I can extend it to infinity. Oh, that was unfortunate.
Yeah. You come on and say, the warranty on your universe is about to expire.
Right. I did call it. I think somebody posted a picture of it, and I was like, "Oh, I got to call it." And then, of course, Gary Lindros posted it on our stuff too, and called attention to it.
What I found interesting was the day the episode premiered, I was watching Twitter and Facebook, and it was this wave of people being the first person to realize that this was an actual phone number, and each one of them would post the audio from it because they were the one that found it. So hats off to all of you for indeed finding it, because it's not quote unquote structured like a phone number. There's no dash. There's no,
right.
Oh,
right.
yeah. Well, anytime I see a phone number that does not have 555, I immediately go, "Oh, should I call that?"
8675309. It's Jenny.
Yeah. Hey, Jenny, how you doing?
Hey, Jenny,
Q answers the phone. If you're calling for Jenny
or the Q Continuum. That's right.
All right, let's do one more here in our regular section, and then we'll go up north for a minute. But this one is catching a lot of flack amongst Trek fans. Paramount and Recur are launching the first official Star Trek NFTs. That's right. Now you can invest in the questionable non-fungible tokens market by spending $250 on a season 0 pack. And what do you get?
I was just going to ask. Yes. What do you get?
You get a unique, algorithmically built starship that you can turn around and sell to your other Trek friends for a Ferengi-style profit. It simply oozes the moneyless future Gene had in mind, doesn't it? This is part of a larger Paramount strategy to offer NFTs across its key franchises. So don't be surprised if this works, if you see CIS or Indiana Jones NFTs in the near future. Ugh.
I got a feeling they're going to be worth more than Tula berries.
I just don't know.
I bought one, and let's see. I just got an email with my ship. Oh, it's a trash barge.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, essentially what they do is they just have the elements of a starship, and I think they're going to do 20,000 permutations of it. So it's okay. I got a thing the variances between the starships is going to get real minute.
I got 2 nacelles. I got 3 nacelles. I got 4 nacelles.
I got 15 nacelles.
Mine looks like a coronavirus.
Yeah. Now, it would be cool. What would be cool if they took this a step further and you could play this ship in one of the games, like Star Trek Online or something like that.
Well,
kind of own it.
I believe that there is an associated game of some sort or another. Let me go back in here.
By the way, that ship they have on the article,
yeah,
the neck on that thing is like super high.
Yeah,
that's the other variation. The neck.
It sort of looks like the Enterprise, except the neck is really tall and the nacelles are
really short,
very, and they're kind of
spread out,
like extra flat out on the sides of it. So probably there's another one that's like 2 pixels shorter and 2 pixels narrower. That's a completely different chip.
Right.
What are you talking about?
This one's got the bigger deflector dish.
Mm.
This one's got 3 more windows than the last one. What are you talking about? It's unique.
Yeah, I don't. What is some of the flack that y'all seen or have you
Well,
seen about
this
this? Because
basically the concept of just,
Our NFT is going to
pure
be
money.
worth anything.
well, right. It's the idea of this is just a pure, not only a money grab by Paramount, but the people who believe that NFTs are nothing more than a pyramid scheme, just view this as just a way for people to prey on other people for cash. Like there's no intrinsic value really to, as there isn't to NFTs in general. There's no intrinsic value. You're just charging people a lot of money for this thing.
Yeah, it's like I like the idea of NFTs, but I don't. In actuality, it's like, oh, you know what? I used to pick on my friend who played. What was that? What was
Second
that
Life?
online? No,
Magic
long
the
time ago.
Gathering,
No, it was something like that. It was like, what was that?
Hoop and Stick. That was too long
The
ago.
first real
Hoop and
fantasy game that was real popular MMO. Anyway,
World of
Zork?
Warcraft. No,
Zork?
Before that, no, it was before that. I had to think about it. Anyway,
Before Zork?
he was buying stuff on eBay, and it was like a tunic or some chainmail. I was like, so you're paying real money for virtual
Fake
items in the
stuff,
game,
yeah.
and the virtual character will walk up to him and drop the things and walk off. Here's your delivery.
Well, at least with that, but I mean, at least with that, that it's not unique, and you're either, you're paying an amount for it because you
And there's a
wanna-
return on your investment. So you get a bigger sword or something. You can
Yeah.
use that in the game to level up. You're really paying cash for
Mhm.
leveling up and getting more stuff
Oh.
to do in the game.
if you get one of these NFTs, the first thing you do is you'd post a picture of it, and it's like,
right.
and now everyone has exactly the same thing as you do.
Without
that's right.
having to pay for the NFT. But that's not a certified copy.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it was EverQuest. That's what I was trying to
Oh,
think of.
okay.
Evercrack. Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because just recently, well, I say last year, I guess it was. I know a guy through social media. He lives near me, but I know a guy through social media. He sold his NFT photo. It was a meme, very famous meme, for like $550,000, and it put his daughter through school. You know which meme that was?
Oh, the smiley
was
face
it?
from the 70s that says, "Have a nice day."
How'd you know? No,
Face
it was the
Picard.
it was a it was a little it was the face palm. Yeah, no, it was the little girl with the house on fire in the background.
The little
Oh,
girl.
Oh my
Okay.
god! Whereas,
Have a nice day. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always
well,
thought that was Charlie from Firestarter,
yeah,
but
surely y'all seen that one. But anyway,
Yeah.
he sold it for that, and he was able to put his daughter through school. And she's of course an adult now, but they paid off school. I thought it was pretty cool. And what was funny was I actually know the guy that took that picture. Wow, I've seen it a million times. Anyway, let it go.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Well, that's your experience with NFTs right there. See, the guy that took the picture. So
wait,
probably
I have to use our new clip after Craig told that story.
See? Right there. Crackpot talk.
yes, there's a sung everywhere, even on our show.
Yes. Crack.
All right, let's now go to Vulcan, Alberta, Canada for some news. It's been so long since we were able to report on any Star Trek related news out of Vulcan, Alberta, Canada. We began to wonder if it was the pandemic or had the town just turned its back on its Vulcan heritage. Well, fear not. In a recent town council meeting, the council approved its strategic planning priorities for the next term. Digging through
Ooh,
the numbers, I learned that $100,000 Canadian
which is about $4 US.
has been allocated to economic development, which includes marketing line items such as a parade float, which I believe is the Enterprise, advertising, highway signage, and Star Trek branding. Whew, there you go.
Oh, man.
There's-
I was beginning to think Nero came in and destroyed Vulcan, Alberta, Canada.
Again.
yeah. No, it's still there. It's still there.
He
No,
puts a
not
big hole in it,
anymore.
and they say, well, that solves the problem of the well.
Right.
So we'll keep monitoring the situation, but it's still there and it's still doing Star Trek stuff. Or
How
hoping
many
to.
links do we have this time for extra stories that we didn't get a chance to
Let's
read?
see. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Don't count them on the
4.
air.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, we have a lot. We have additional stories, including everything from some more background on Christopher Pike to a video about 10 times Star Trek has broken the fourth wall.
That's the one my eyes were drawn to. Now I want to watch it. I'll be right back.
No, not right now. No. Watch after the show. Just go over to the show notes for episode 112, First Contact Dazed, over at the topic is Trek.com. And with that said, it's time for my favorite part of the show. It's time for me to say goodbye, Charlie.
I want to stay.
Eric's.
Eric loves that part of the show too.
Yes, well, don't we all? But now it's time to go on our main mission with an appropriate sound effect.
Oh, let's go with this. Engineering room interior, which sounds an awful lot like the M5. Hold on.
Yes. Sped up.
Ah, right. Okay. And a little more nuance. Okay.
All right. So we're going to be talking about the two most recent episodes of Star Trek Picard. So spoiler alert.
Only 2 shows this time?
I know. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
I think we get this week and the next episode where we just do 2 episodes. It's amazing. All right. So, Chuck, why don't you tell us a bit about the first episode we're going to talk about?
I thought you were going to ask me to sing Fly Me to the Moon.
Well,
Fly
you can do
me
that too,
to the moon.
as long as we can pay the rights, and I don't think we can. So,
All right. Spoiler alert. We don't.
Yeah. Right.
Fly Me to the Moon was written by Cindy Appel. This is, of course, Appel's first script for Star Trek Picard. Previously, she has written for the reboot of MacGyver and The Odd Couple, as well as Superior Donut, which I think has something to do with winter in Michigan and driving your car around in a parking lot.
I thought Homer ate the superior donut.
She also wrote for Young and Hungry and Desperate Housewives. They were desperate for a donut.
What version of the Odd Couple are they talking about here?
the reboot. The one that's just on.
Never mind.
Which one?
Just had John Lennon, Yvette Nicole Brown in it. It was like
John Lennon.
from 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
The director of this is someone we all know and love, Mr. First Officer Commander Number 1, Jonathan Frakes, the man, the myth, the legend. This is, of course, his 3rd time directing Picard and the, get this, 27th time overall directing Trek. I think he knows his way around the set.
That's a lot of Trek. That's a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah. He's done just a little bit.
I love hearing the actor stories about it too. What was it? Issa was really nervous. She was on the cruise. She was telling the story, and you get all of a sudden, he'd burst out, "Brilliant!" He just blurts these things out.
Yeah, I could see that.
Brief synopsis of the show before we get into our snooze reviews. Picard discovers an important person from his past may be integral to the divergence in the timeline. Q continues his manipulation of events, taking an interest in Dr. Adam Sung. Seven and Rafi attempt a daring rescue of Rios, while Jurati faces the consequence of her deal with the Borg Queen.
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot happening in this episode and little glimpses of where we're headed. I feel like this episode kind of was giving us texture, but not substance, if that makes any sense. Like it's almost like it was all mostly setup of what was going to be coming in the next episode.
Well, I felt it was kind of dark for Q to do what he did.
Messing around with Adam's daughter.
Yeah. I mean, he gave her hope and then just, oh, by the way, that's only 10 minutes worth.
We find out what Issa's been doing. She's not just in episode 1. Like, hey, she did come back.
She's been
and we
around
also find out that that Evan makes appearances in the show as Elnor from time to time as well, which is disturbing. But
he does, and yet he doesn't all at the same time. That's another strange thing there.
And I told you on the last episode we did of this show, after Agnes did her mind meld with the Borg Queen, I don't trust her. I don't trust her anymore, and that becomes even more evident in the next episode.
Right, because in this episode, the Borg Queen taps into the cellular network,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Wouldn't okay? The voice recognition only worked for if she imitated Rios, but the computer doesn't know the difference between a fake Rios and a real Rios.
Well-
I find that hard to believe.
well,
I
what
think
was
I had a feeling that she was imitating him well enough. The other ones, he wasn't quite doing it right.
That old Star Trek security, you can always count on it being full of holes.
Right.
They're hacking into the whole database and downloading it again.
and this
Right.
is not right. This is not the first time that Star Trek has used this bit of being able to replicate somebody else's voice.
Data did it.
Data did it. We also had somebody
Yep.
replicating another person's voice in the Savage Curtain. I think was it the Savage Curtain? The one with the Lincoln in it, Spock, help me, Spock. So this is a kind of a mini trope in Trek that you can get around
bit,
stuff.
yeah.
Although I did enjoy the fact, at least, that they made the effort to say, okay, I'm going to try Girardi first because she's here and she probably has access. No, that didn't work. Okay, I'm
Nope.
going to try Picard.
Picard,
No.
he's an admiral. He's got authority. He ought to get us out of this. Nope.
How about the
I mean-
captain of the ship? Maybe that would work.
It made me think of Data locking out the computer and going, he was saying, what was it? Picard 102666 Alpha Omega. It's
Yeah,
It
it's
went
like
like
30,
for 2 minutes.
35 thing long.
yeah. That's what-
And then some hacker goes, easy, I'm in,
Yeah, that's right.
I have one major bone to pick in this show. This is like the whole story arc has a flaw in it. It's
Okay, so it's not specific to the episode, it's just like overall
no,
story?
yeah. This whole thing is predicated on Rene Picard is one of Picard's ancestors.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
They reveal that when Picard finds out who Tillin, is that her name?
Yeah,
T-
Tillin,
Yeah, Tallinn, whatever it was. Laris's counterpart or lookalike.
Gary
'Cause
Seven.
everybody's got a lookalike in this show. And let me just read my notes. Why did the Europa mission astronaut have to be Picard's ancestor? Because that's an extra wrinkle that would have been easier if she wasn't. Let me tell you, if she goes to Europa, normal timeline, right? The future is full of hope and we get the UFP and everything that we expect. If not, then her whole life, including relationships, change. And it's very improbable that Jean-Luc would have even existed in that alternate future.
I
wouldn't have-
believe she's identified in the story as his great aunt,
Okay.
So it's
not
a little,
his mother.
Not
so it's
someone.
out of the bloodline a little bit. Yeah.
So he's
Okay.
It's a branch on the tree.
right. So they got around you there, Chuck.
Well, I still thought I will say
I'd still say
I
that
thought
would
it
make a difference in the family, though.
Well, I thought it was a little funny that, as you kind of mentioned there, or started to mention a little bit, the relationship, and they used the name Renee because Renee died in a fire.
Well, that was his
That
nephew.
That was that was his-
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
Which-
why'd they
which is
use the same name?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, you have people that are as a tribute to
A lot of people.
so-and-so
Yeah, a
and
lot of people are
naming-
named. My daughter's
Yeah.
named after my sister.
Maybe that's why Renee was her name Renee and the TNG.
Maybe. I mean, that's generations and generations and generations apart. So, I mean, yeah, oftentimes when you're looking to name a child, you go back into the family tree and say, what?
I
sounds
just thought
good?
it was a little. I went because when I first heard the name, I went, whoa, wait a minute.
My other daughter's named after my mother-in-law's grandmother or mother. I mean, it's not.
Maybe in an upcoming episode when she goes to take off, she'll die in a fire.
What? No. Yeah. We're
don't
coming back
want
from
that
the
to happen.
Europa mission with this life form and the heat shields failed.
Yes, I think we talk about that in the next episode. So we'll
Okay.
save that for then about
Fine.
what that as far as the life form goes, what that might mean. But we have a lot of deep cuts here in this episode as well.
yes.
A lot of
Leaf
those Easter eggs.
Ganford got punched in the face.
Well, no, that was the
was a
last
prediction.
episode. One of the things that I certainly didn't see coming was the whole connection to Gary 7 in Assignment Earth,
Yeah.
that she is a supervisor. And when I went back and rewatched the episode Assignment Earth, which I've seen 1,000 times, so
Sure.
I pretty much knew it, but I just wanted to like watch it again.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Face it. You just wanted to see Terry Garr again. That's all.
And the cat,
And the cat.
Isis at the end.
It's almost like you should have seen it coming, because in the episode prior, where she just puts her arm, her hand on Picard's arm,
Mhm.
and they leave, it forms a cube. And Gary 7's portal was that vault.
Right.
which was
They
cube
came
shape,
in through a vault.
and they came
Mhm.
into
Yeah.
her apartment
Through a vault door.
vault.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, apparently the supervisors, if they don't have a vault, they're completely useless.
No, you just have to find the right apartment.
Right.
But it had
Yeah.
the
How many
same
apartments?
giant
How many
turning.
I
apartments
know.
had? Yeah. how many
Maybe it
apartments
was
are made
Gary
with vaults?
Seven's old apartment. I don't
Well, I did notice that when Picard said, you mentioned Gary 7, she kind of had this wry smile on her face, like, oh yeah, Gary. Yeah, I remember Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. From
That's what we say at
1960.
Dragon Con. I remember Gary.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny. I watched that episode the other day. Kind of for the same reasons that Clinton said. Was I was, oh, there's a connection there. I'm gonna go watch it, and I watched it, and boy, howdy, let me tell you. Star Trek, of course, was made in the late '60s. This one oozed late '60s because they were on Earth. It's like, whew, you look at
Where
the way Terry
everyone
Garr
had
was
a fur-
dressed and everything.
Where everyone
There's
has a fur coat.
Vietnam protests going outside.
I swear, they were walking down the street. Did you notice that Kirk and Spock are walking down the street trying to go to Gary
Mhm.
7's office?
Yeah.
Every woman that was walking by had on a fur coat.
Yeah.
Where the heck are these people?
Even the pimp had a fur coat. Hey, Jim.
No, let's not send your notes
That's
to
right.
Chuck Tomasi. No, yeah, well, and we all know the story that this was an attempt at a backdoor pilot for a
Yes.
series.
That's right.
So I thought it was interesting that they pick up on that thread, speaking of the threads that are going on here, and use it. But the interesting thing, the difference is that where Talon is just watching, kind of protecting Renee from afar, Gary 7 was clearly going in to manipulate history, because he caused the explosion of that rocket that was kind of a trigger to get people to back off from the brink of war, because it was, the tensions were heightening all around the world, and by suddenly having this thing that's going to happen, and then we see the danger of nuclear arms, and we should probably back off a bit, type of thing. But so he was kind of shaping history, not being a very passive observer of it and just a protector of it. So it brings into question, okay, do all the supervisors work the same way? I don't think they do.
How do the supervisors? It feels like they should know about Q. That one struck me odd. That Talon was completely ignorant of what the continuum was.
Well,
It felt
Q
like
kinda
they
does his
both
own
had
thing.
this kind of timey-wimey effect to them.
Well, it's possible that because they are raised on this planet that's thousands of light years from Earth or wherever it is, and apparently it's a cloaked planet and that type of thing, that maybe they've never been affected by Q and they just have no concept that this is a thing. It's just a guess. I don't know if that would be the case or not, but
Okay.
he doesn't know where they are. They don't know where he is.
I do like the fact that you can stop a bus with an EMP from a tricorder.
Yeah, was that the most uninspired daring rescue attempt ever?
I know, except for the fight scene part. But yeah, you're right. It's like, oh, let's just EMP it.
Yeah, we'll just stop the bus and everybody gets off. There you go.
Wait a minute. And there was one of the inmates had a cell phone
Yes,
when he
I
left.
noticed that.
I was like,
It's like,
what?
What?
Oh, I can pull it out. I can
What?
use it now. I
Yeah,
can
Maybe
use
you
it now.
stole that off of Leaf.
Right. I
Well,
hope he still won't.
yeah, because that was my thought. My other thought was, okay, we know we had a suspicion we were going back to see the Doctor again, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we spent a lot of time on, I believe the character's name was Pedro. We spent a lot of time
Yes.
with him as well. And I'm thinking, I'm not convinced we're through with that character either.
Yeah, it's a backdoor pilot for Star Trek
Yeah.
Pedro.
Well,
Yeah.
and well, as we're watching the episode, Bonnie said,
Vote for Pedro.
Bonnie said, well, how is that not affecting the timeline?
Well,
Because
remember, this
everybody
is-
that was on that bus
yeah.
Was supposed to get
was supposed to be
deported.
going across the border, and they didn't.
But is it the real life timeline, or is Q just got his own little reality going?
Well,
Is any of this stuff going to carry forward? That's what
Well,
I'm wondering.
well, Q is no longer kind of capable of manipulating anything in
Well,
the
that's
Q
true.
continuum type of way.
Hmm.
He's lost his snap.
Yeah, his crackle and his pop are not that good either anymore. But yeah, so we get to
Mind your P's and
meet
Q's.
it's Corey,
Corey, yes, Kore. I thought that was interesting.
and she has this genetic defect where if she's exposed to sunlight or outside air, basically the natural world will just kill her. And Adam Sung has been trying to find a way to prevent this or to cure this, and he's been working with some non-reputable people to do genetic research, and he has his license taken away from him by McFly. So I think just because Leah Thompson is in the scene, which is kind of weird because she directed the last 2 episodes and then she's one of the people in this episode.
Well,
So
since
Jonathan
I'm
Frakes-
hanging around the set anyway,
Well, you did see
yeah.
her last name, didn't you?
you want to be
I
a
know
senator?
You saw that. You saw that Easter egg, didn't you?
well, I know
The
that the
character's
person,
last name.
I know that the person sitting next to her was probably a distant relative of Worf's parents.
Yeah,
But I
Roshenko.
couldn't remember her name though. What was her
I
name?
thought it was her name.
No.
Roshenko.
No,
was
that
it
was the
beside
person,
her?
the gentleman sitting next
Oh,
to.
I just
next
saw
to
the
her.
nameplate. That's why.
Yeah, so we have that that's another minor Easter egg there.
Mhm.
And also there's an out of universe Easter egg because when Leah Thompson is talking about who he was working with, that's actually a reference to the series 12 Monkeys, which Terry Mateus was the showrunner on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
So we're kind of throwing that in there to kind of mix those universes up.
Well, I never saw this series. Did you guys?
No.
I did not. It seemed like it was really, really dark.
Yeah.
Because the movie was really, really dark. So
Well, speaking of dark, as I mentioned a minute ago, this is kind of dark for Q though, where he took things.
yeah, I mean, I can understand from his point of view what he's doing by giving Sung just that temporary fix.
Yeah, it's the carrot.
Right.
But
You want to
he
really
didn't
reel
mention
the
that.
person in.
He just said, "Here,
Check it
analyze
out.
give it a try," and then it's like, "Oh, by the way, after
It
they
only
found
lasts
out it was-
15 minutes.
Yeah, which is kind of cruel to his daughter. I mean, come on. But you never seen Q act like that before. He's always been. I mean, it didn't seem like.
Wait.
It-
Yes, you have. He introduced
ever
us to the Borg. That's about as deep as it gets.
You know what? That's a good point. I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was just thinking
If
he
you
hasn't
can't
been that
stand
cruel
getting a
to
little
people.
bloody nose, maybe you should stay out of the galaxy or whatever he said at the end of the show.
Stay at home under your bed.
Yeah.
Under
I'm
the
sorry.
covers.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, let's face it, I don't think he's dealing well with the fact that he doesn't have his powers anymore.
I think, yeah, he said time is catching up with him.
Right. So we don't know how this is gonna. And I always think about the line, which may have been there on purpose or not, that in Discovery, when they're going through all the possible sources of something happening, they say, we haven't heard from the Q continuum in like 800 years or something like that. I'm going, what's up with that? I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any more thoughts on the
Yes.
first episode? Yes. Fly Me to the Moon.
Rafi is seeing Elnor. That's a big uh-oh in my mind. You know,
Yes.
is she just,
Hanging
is it
around.
emotional, or did she get hit on the head, or, um,
I took it as
I
emotional. This episode, I took it as emotional.
the,
Yeah.
I don't know why I wrote this down on this particular episode, but I am still loving the new dramatic theme, the intro music.
Oh,
You
the
know, instead
sped
of
up a little.
the real passive stuff in the season 1 stuff, it's got, more orchestral in it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
I like them both, to be honest with you, but yeah, I enjoy the second one too.
Oh.
When Picard brings, Talon aboard the ship, and she says,
Yeah.
"Is that your crew carrying out the dead
Oh,
cop?"
I'm sure he's not dead. I'm sure he's not.
Oh
dead.
yeah. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Like what?
And that reminded me that I was getting my episodes mixed up. We do get this piece of information about what Renee Picard did on the mission, that apparently now they're going to Europa. How they end up on Io, I don't understand, but she finds what she believes to be a sentient life form and convinces the mission commander
To
to
bring
bring
it
it back
back.
to Earth. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking that has all sorts of ramifications.
Oh, heck yeah.
So
I saw the thing.
Invasive species, anyone?
I was thinking the movie The Thing. I just watched that recently. No, you don't want to bring anything back here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's two reasons. One,
Mhm.
you're disturbing the natural environment of this thing, right? By removing it.
Mhm.
And the second thing is, yeah, you don't know what potential danger something, especially if you think it's sentient, is going to have on Earth. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. It's like
Maybe it was
maybe we
Armus.
don't want her to go on this mission.
She brought Armus back from Europa.
Oh, you can get that down at the Jiffy Lube.
Yeah. Thank you for taking me away from that planet.
So I either it's something that brings delight and joy and inspiration to the world, or it's going to be the beginning of World War III. I don't know which way that one goes.
It's either Gizmo or the Gremlin.
Yeah,
I like how Girardi minimized our technology too. Oh, I took ancient computing. This would be easy. And air gapping. It was effective.
Yeah, that's right.
primitive but effective. Yeah,
Primitive but effective. Like, what else
That
have we
was pretty
got?
funny.
What else did I have?
Do we want to rate this one first?
Agnes got injected. We did get it to
Yes.
see as she walked up to the Borg Queen right in the face with the finger tubules before the Borg Queen dies.
And the Borg Queen, even in this episode and much more the next episode, really kind of had Girardi's number and just played it and played it and played it.
Yeah. Till it
She
paid
just
off.
as much as the acting is superb for Girardi in this season. I feel like that's great, except she comes across as very she can be manipulated very, very easily.
Mhm.
And it's a shame. You kind of hope that, because I had great hope with that when she first flipped the script and got the information out of the Queen about the coordinates that Picard should go to, that was good. And I don't think that was part of the Queen's plan. I'm pretty sure that was, oh, well, that was very clever of you. And, you're on my radar now because you are very clever. But other than that, I feel like she's just falling into trap after trap, including
It's a
walking
trap.
walking up to the Queen and getting scratched. And there go the nanos into her, and that's that.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to resolve that or how they play that out.
All right, well, let's rate Fly Me to the Moon. I will go first this time with Craig. Oh, we are 1 to 10 what's? 1 to 10.
Superior donuts.
No, okay, fine. It's in the room.
All right. Are we doing Superior Donuts?
Yeah,
All
let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to give this one probably an 8 Superior Donut, because it not a filler episode, but it was, just kind of gave us a little bit and strung us along.
Okay, I'll go next. I think I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I liked the episode it was a mixed bag, though. We even got kind of into an Ocean's 11 kind of deal by the time the episode was over about here's the plan. You do this and you do that and you do the other thing. And then we're in because there's a monitor here and security there and type of thing. And
they show a montage with the cars pulling
Yep,
up and
yep.
people coming down on the road.
Exactly. Split screens and all sorts of stuff going on. So, but I thought that there were some very dramatic parts in it, especially the interactions between Girardi and the Borg Queen. So yeah, I'm going to go with an 8. Eight superior donuts from me.
There you go.
I'm going with the same. So we'll just keep it at that.
Okay.
We're running long on the show again. We only have 2 to review this time.
All right. So let's move on to a second one, and I'll read this. This is Star Trek Picard 2 of 1.
Is that a Borg designation?
I think so. Written by Cindy Appel and Jane Maggs. This is Maggs' second script for Star Trek Picard. She has also written for several other TV and streaming series, including the upcoming The Man Who Fell to Earth. And it's directed by Jonathan Frakes, making this the 28th time he has directed Trek.
Again?
Funny how that happens after you did.
Sure, it's not his last either.
Well, I'm sure it's not. Brief synopsis. Talon helps Picard and the crew infiltrate a gala on the eve of a joint space mission to protect an astronaut they believe is integral in restoring the timeline, Renee Picard. Corey makes a startling discovery about her father's work. I don't know if I would have seen it coming that she was a genetic experiment if the internet hadn't guessed it for me. I don't know. Did that come as a surprise to you that Corey was one of Sung's experiments?
Well, go ahead, Chuck.
Are you talking about when she did jumped on his computer and started looking through the files?
Yeah, I found out that like she's the 125th or something, version.
Yeah, no, I didn't suspect that either. That was a great reveal. I loved that scene. I expected him to come walking it at any point. So I was like, oh, we have a new plot point. And it really, it's not so much about his love for her at this point. It's about his damn work. He is a workaholic, and he starts doing this. Where is it? Come on. It won't play now. The crackpot talk.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, I had a feeling that he was in genetics. He has done something to her, but I didn't know what, because he was trying to fix it. I didn't realize that she's either a clone or something, whatever he's doing. I'm not sure exactly where that's going, what it is he's doing, but yeah, it was an interesting reveal to finally see that, she is not the first version, which I thought was interesting. Anyway.
And we know that in the future, and I forget which Sung it is, first name for the Sung, that in Enterprise, Sung is experimenting, with genetics, trying to make superior humans in that as well. So
in Enterprise, right?
Yeah. So I guess I should have seen it coming. But
his name was Sung Sung.
Yeah, Sung Sung Susudio. They were that
way too soon.
Yeah.
So, but was it 125 versions of?
I'm just saying, she kept opening up files, and it was like you couldn't tell who was the same one at different ages.
Yeah, I figured
which ones were different ones.
Well, when you said one of y'all said 125, I was like, wow, that's because you have to get to a certain age, and they were all kids, so it was like 8 years for each one. It was like, that's a lot. I was thinking more as like,
oh no, I was just saying, I was just saying like a big number. It's like she wasn't unique. Let's put it that way. She was the last. This is the last time. Now, I think we know that type of workaholic that if she had died of, she dies of this, he'd start over again. It wouldn't be the last time.
He said this was the last time. This is the last time he was doing it.
But that's because she's still alive. When if she died, I'm sure he'd go, I know what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong. And he would do it again.
Do you think he's cloning, or what? What do you think he's doing? I'm sorry to interrupt, Chuck.
No, I don't. It's hard to tell. They really didn't reveal too much of the science of what he's
Yeah.
doing. It was just genetic experiments. He could have taken somebody, wiped their mind, and injected them with something. We don't know.
Well, they all
So,
look the same though, didn't they?
Well, it's hard to tell because
somewhat.
they were
Oh,
kids, so it's
Yeah.
oh, in the little montage, they did a good job making him look younger and
Mm.
older, as time progressed.
Yeah, I liked that. The aging and the de-aging from the pictures and whatnot.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool. We get a little more insight as to Q's motivation. So apparently he needs to get Sung to kill Renee, and then Sung will get funding or
Well, I
the
know it's very
solution to
confusing.
his science.
Did he? It sounded like it was very confusing because at the end of the episode, I think it was the last episode where he says, "Are you familiar with the name Picard?" Now, he
Mhm.
doesn't say which Picard. When Sung confronts Jean-Luc,
He's
he
got his
says
full bio.
he says that she can't go on that mission. Like his job is to. I had a feeling his job was to eliminate Jean-Luc.
That's what I thought at first also, but then he tries to run her down.
That's not
Well,
what I didn't get that at all. I thought he wanted to stop Renee from.
From going on
Oh,
the
you mean
mission.
originally when he was just asking, "Do you know the name Picard?" I see what you're saying, and then
Right.
of course it became clear. I think he was trying to stop Renee from actually doing it, so it was going to run her down.
This show had a bunch of different levels on it. We got a little more insight into depression and anxiety, and I'm glad they're talking about that when you had that conversation between Jean-Luc and Renee.
Well, that goes deeper than that because I don't know if Sir Patrick's background when he was a child. It was an abusive home.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, his
So I think
father.
some of this.
His father would beat his mother, and he was a little kid. And he couldn't do anything about it, and no one would help. Police would say, "It must have been her fault," or "It takes two to make an argument," type of thing. And so he lived with that for years, and it affected him for most of his adult life.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and every time I see those little flashbacks, I wonder how much of this is actually mirroring his own experience.
Yeah, because they're not really giving us a whole lot of detail on the flashbacks. Maybe when he's in this coma or self-induced coma, I guess
Mhm.
it'll help bring that out.
Hey, if you, the listener, you Chuck, whoever, I would highly recommend go seek out one of those talks where Patrick Stewart is actually talking about that, and it's pretty moving actually.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah.
We get to see Girardi sing Pat Benatar.
We do.
How she learned
Shadows
this song,
of the Night.
how the Borg Queen knew this song, I don't know. Maybe and she was just hanging around with nothing else to do in the ship. She was listening to local radio stations. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I kind of got the feeling that Girardi knew the song because she was the one who was really enjoying it, which of course was once again the Queen's plan.
When did we hear that song earlier in the series?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There was another song they played, but
all the power is out, yet she starts singing, gets a spotlight, and power starts coming back on.
Huh?
What? Okay.
So I think the spotlight coming on her was a manipulation by the Borg Queen, and it's like, and I'm thinking,
yes,
but no one kind of noticed that hey, wait a minute now, how come there's a light there? Or they all thought maybe at that point they all thought, oh, this must be planned.
The pianist and the band, and they all just kind of jumped right in. They knew the song too. I thought that was amazing.
They're pros.
Yeah, they just start playing. We don't know this lady, but we're just going to play the song for her.
We're just going to jam for a while.
I was curious to find out if she actually, Alison Peel actually sang it.
That was what I was trying to figure out. I mean, obviously it was dubbed for the show, but did she lay down the soundtrack? Don't know.
Yeah,
Did she sing any in Scott Pilgrim?
I wouldn't put it past the casting directors. They have a remarkable talent for finding singers too.
Oh yeah, and if you know that's something you run it past the actor and see what they can do, and they show what they can do. They go, okay, let's do that then.
If not, they go, Let's overdub it. Get somebody else to sing it.
Well, they did a good job anyway.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was I was like, I wonder if she really sang that. And I couldn't find a clear answer.
She is
Um,
completely rogue now, though.
Yeah, because it was, it was interesting because the queen up and tells her,
I'm taking over.
no. Earlier, she says that we don't like all this adrenaline,
Oh, the stress hormones and
cortisone.
what?
the
Yeah,
stress
yeah.
hormones,
the cortisone, yeah.
yeah, that it's bad for us.
But then when she gets the dopamine, it's like a full-on battery charge.
Right, because essentially, I think what she's saying is
Cortisol, I'm
that
sorry.
Girardi has let down the fight or flight mechanism and has now gone into, a safe mode in her brain, if you will.
Mhm.
And that allows the queen to just go zip.
So she
right
went from
inside.
cortisol to endorphins and opened the door.
Yep.
So
And the
now we
eyes
know
go
how to
black.
defend against Borg.
Yeah, just be mad. Worf, you had the right idea all along. Sorry.
They're
Sorry.
going to assimilate warp. Nah, never mind.
I like my species the way it is.
Yeah, that's right.
I am not a Mary Borg.
I do think it's funny that what was her name again? I know Laris, but Tillian.
Oh, Talon.
Talon.
She finds Picard easy to read.
Yes, after he
Yeah.
lies to her, she goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting."
Thank you for that. Now I'll know when you're lying next time.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
And it
geez.
wasn't super subtle, but I did like the fact that they're standing at a table, while they're watching, trying to, keep an eye on Renee, and they're talking. And essentially what Talon says about how she operates is the way Picard was talking to Laris, saying, well, I have to protect people and I don't have time. I kind of the other things occupy, and this is the best way to keep people safe, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
And it was like being thrown back in his face, because I think he's then trying to process that. But then who watches over you? It's like, well, kind of was Laris's point, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting tie-in too. Like he's still trying to resurrect a relationship that this woman has no idea about.
Right.
Although he apparently keeps calling her that. So, and yes, in this episode, oh, go ahead, Craig.
I was just going to mention that I liked how Rios is enjoying the real things instead of the sterile.
I thought he was going to light that cigar and someone was going to say, "Put that out."
Yep. And
I
yet,
was so hoping
there were
for it.
cigars and matches available there.
Well, he
They
was
come
like,
in the group together in this little cover.
yeah, he was like waxing over the matches and the box.
And the
Oh, look at
food
this,
here
little
is
cover.
excellent.
Yeah, it tastes great. And
And music and
smell
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, but Rafi nailed it. It's like, you're really happy all of a sudden. What? Ever since you got locked up with that doctor, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, but she's amazing, and blah, 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
No. Oh, honey, don't go there.
yeah.
No, don't go there.
She'll end up going to the future. I see that coming. Well,
Well,
if she leaves, she won't be able to help all the people that she.
that's
helped.
right. That's right. Maybe Rio stays. Ooh.
Then they'll have to name their kid Crystal Ball.
Yes. Well, it's already planned out. They're
Well, that was again. This comes back to the question: is this a made-up reality that will get reversed after Q's done, or do the things stick? So, could Rio stay, or can he?
No.
If the universe, if it's not, if it's a made-up universe, what I'm getting at.
I mean, I feel like Raffi was correct that, it's kind of a tough way to build a relationship,
You can't build a relationship that's based on lies.
yeah. And talk about not having a whole lot in common.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's
I
sort
used
of
to be a
later we get
spaceship captain. Oh, really?
Tell me
What's
more.
a spaceship?
Yeah. Now I don't know. I mean, theoretically, it might end up that way, that he decides, I can just see the scene where they fix things to the point where they can go, and he goes, I'm not going, I'm staying.
Mhm.
So possible that he could stay behind. I don't know.
Yeah, he's enjoying the smells and everything. So
He
More
is.
power to him.
Yeah, but then again, after a while, the streets of Los Angeles aren't always that great. So I don't. He might change his mind.
Have you been down to Skid Row?
I'm starting to
You
question
don't want to
Rios'
smell it.
starting to question his judgment.
Just send him home with a box of Cubans.
Yeah.
Cigars, not the people.
So
Philip
that would-
Bay.
That would take human trafficking to a whole new level.
Right.
and we end up with Picard back at the clinic because Rios knows someone who can help. Because we knew we would see the doctor again. We just knew it, and sure enough, and she's really suspicious about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because
Who are you?
what organ has he had replaced? All of them?
That was hilarious. One or two, all of them.
Yeah, and she tries to give him
Oh, the paddles. Yeah, she gives
Right.
him a shock, and her machine blows out. Like, what?
because the feedback from his body is just like
Yeah.
I thought it was just because she had like an old machine, because the clinic doesn't have the highest budget.
No, I'm
Like,
sure
nope.
it's the android body going.
I was ready for somebody to just slap him to wake him up, get him out of his little state.
Yeah, no, the Mabenga isn't there to do that, so he can't.
You got to open the eyelid and you go, "Hello,
Yeah,
anybody
right.
in there?" Like when
Give
your
him a
kids
wet-
were
give him a wet
pretending to
willy.
sleep.
Yeah,
Give him a
when
wet
you-
willy.
he presses back with a reset button.
Yeah.
Is, and it just takes
By
care
the
of it.
way, side note. Did Data's off button move around during the show?
Oh, I'm sure it
Sometimes it
did.
was.
Used to
It's
be
got
on
a
his
back
Like
lower
here,
it
back
back.
here. He's probably got like 8 of them.
It's like the nuclear launch thing. You have to have 2 keys.
Let me access the back. He pulls his thumb down. Wait a minute, wasn't there
Little
last time?
fingernail.
What are you talking about?
That's right.
All right. Anything more to say about our second episode, 2 of 1?
We're getting in deep now.
We
I'm
are.
actually concerned. I think it's a little bit of a plot hole, but I understand that everybody's been involved in different things,
Mhm.
but nobody has been able to pick up that Agnes is not right. Even
Right.
Rio said, "Hey, you're not replying back. Are you okay?" But it's not like there's been any flags whatsoever.
And you've got 2 former Borg in your crew.
Yeah,
And she's not even around at the end of the show. Like,
Yeah, when
nobody
somebody goes,
goes,
"Hey,
where
where's
did
Agnes?"
Agnes go? Right.
yeah. So I mean, she was supposed to stay on the ship for a while, and then she, of course, until she wasn't. So I just think it's a little bit of a plot hole that maybe it's just convenience for the plot to go forward, that nobody's checked on her. Anyway,
I can't remember the character name now, but also with the red dress, and you had the Borg Queen sitting next to her, who was just in her head. It was kind of reverse Battlestar Galactica,
oh yeah,
Oh, yes.
right?
a
Except
little bit.
the blonde with the red dress was now the real person, and the other person was the person inside their head. Kind of an
Hmm.
interesting twist there. All right. Well, let's see. What's our scale for this one, guys?
Trisha Heffer. Trisha Heffer.
Trisha Helfer and
Right,
yeah,
but I think
and
it was-
guys Baltar.
Was her name Seven?
I want to say that, but that
Like she was she
shame
referred
on
to
me
often
for
as,
forgetting.
as head 7.
She was the 6th. Oh, significant 7 was the group. The significant 7 was the group. She was the 6th.
Okay,
I'm looking at it right here. That's why.
So yeah,
Don't argue with me. I'm
I
looking.
thought that was
Google
number
told
6.
me.
Yeah, she
Hey,
was
the
number
internet,
6.
the
You're
internet
right.
does not lie. So clearly,
It's on
that is-
Wikipedia. It must be true.
All right. So how about on a scale of 1 to 10 fine Cuban cigars?
I like that better than Superior Donuts.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with you,
Oh,
Chuck. then.
yeah,
What
because I went
regards-
last time. 2 of 1. I'm going to give this one a 9. I really liked it. I like they were taking it a little deeper than the last episode. We're really into the thick of things with. I almost said Soji. That's not right.
Right. Well,
Corey discovering her background. Data going dark. Not Data. Sung going dark. This is so hard
It's
to adapt.
confusing. It's so confusing.
I'm in the wrong timeline, the wrong parallel universe, whatever it is. Picard is
Right.
still Picard, right?
No, because he's an android now.
What's Girardi?
Don't know.
They keep this is like playing Flux.
I keep moving the chess pieces. I can't figure it out.
Here's a new rule. I'm really liking this. It's getting in deep, and we're seeing Agnes, whom I predicted long time ago. Don't trust her. She's off the deep end. Now, where it all leads, I don't know. That's what I like about this is when you think you've got things figured out, they give you a new angle and go, huh. That affects the way I thought this was going to go. So I like that when shows do that. I don't want this to be predictable and go, we saw that coming back in episode 3. Remember,
Right.
we thought this was feeling more like Star Trek 4? Those thoughts are completely gone.
Right.
We're still
Yeah.
dealing with correcting the timeline, but we're not bringing whales back. And I like it.
So I'm going to go with teetering between an 8.5 and a 9 on this
Okay.
one, because I felt like the Shadows of the Night number didn't feel right. It's like they're going for a vibe, and it just kind of went a little over that vibe by, as we said, the orchestra just kind of picks up on it. No one,
It
says
was the
anything.
fan dance scene.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
We needed a distraction.
No, goodness, it was not the fan dancing.
This was the Picard version of a fan dance.
I'm going to give it a 9 because it wasn't the fan dance scene. How about that? There we go.
Right.
I can talk him into anything.
All right. And what about you, Craig?
I'm going to give it a 9 because it went from the last one and then went back up, trying to give us some more details and move the plot forward. So I think the pacing is really good on this season, much better than I think the first season, and I'm really enjoying it. And this was another really good one.
And the episode lengths are varying because I think they're going, we don't have to stretch this out for an hour if we don't need it. I think this episode was 38 minutes long. So they're kind of, saying we don't have to conform, so we won't.
Oh, yeah.
Just do as
Yeah, I
much as
did
we
notice
need.
that. I went, oh, it's a little shorter than the ones we've seen.
That's how I was able to watch it just before my noon appointment. Okay.
Indeed.
I discovered about 11 a.m. Got to prepare for tonight's show, and I haven't watched today's episode. The hazards of having a podcast on Thursdays.
All right. So really quickly, a Warp Speed roundtable. This time around, we're going to ask in the trailer for season 3 of Picard. We talked about that at the top of the show. We see Jean-Luc Picard handwriting notes. We can't read what the text is, but we see him signing it. Perhaps they're like those Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon thank you notes. For example, Picard might be writing, this is Craig's suggestion, thank you, Binars, for your wide range of options.
1 and 0.
Right.
So the question is, what type of thank you note do you think Picard is writing? So I will start off just to get us going. This very simple one here is, Dear Q, thanks for nothing. There we go.
Oh, I was going to say, Dear Q, thank you for your timeless friendship.
There you go.
Thank you, Wesley, for finally shutting up.
Okay, I've got, Dear Will Riker, thank you for not making that sad trombone noise when I became Locutus. Wah, wah.
Right.
Wait, I might have that here handy for you. Oh, maybe. Oh, here it is.
Of course.
Oh, I can just see Jonathan Frakes doing that. That's
Right.
actually very visual.
Anybody else?
I would like to thank all the loves in my life for all the good times. Kamala, Angie, Janice, Marta, Philippa, Nilla, Eileen, Vosh, Beverly, and Loris.
Oh my.
The man without any personal relationships certainly has a laundry list, doesn't he?
That's right.
I
I would like to thank you, Worf. Sometimes you were right.
Sometimes you could beat up the bad guy. There we go. Dear Guinan, thank you for never asking me to settle up my bar tab. Wait, we don't use money.
Thank you for still asking me for my ID.
Jordy, thank you for all working on the warp core. I know you couldn't see, but you had vision.
Dear writers, thank you for not turning me and Beverly into those warp salamanders.
Ooh, yikes.
Nobody wants that. All right. Any more out there?
Oh, we want to hear from our listeners on this.
Absolutely.
This is going to be evidence whether we have listeners or not.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. So you can leave your thank you notes from Jean-Luc Picard over on our Facebook page for The Topic is Trek. But for right now,
.com?
yes.
No, it's
Well,
Facebook.
Facebook page. Oh,
Facebook.
never mind.
or Meta, whatever it's called this week. You know, that place over there.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's time to refill the dilithium chamber and warp on out of here. You can find me, Clinton, over at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4.com. Currently working on the April podcast today in May. Spectacular. So look for that coming up in May, but we've got some episodes coming up before that as well. And
Like preseason teasers?
Absolutely. And who speaks for you guys?
Go ahead, Craig.
All right. So you can find Chuck and I over at the Technorama podcast. Just search the Google for Technorama podcast and you'll find us. And we're everywhere that you can find a podcast to be delivered to you, even Domino's. No, wait, not Domino's.
And they pay you. They give you,
but it's hot and fresh.
All right. With that said, bizarrely, it's time to hit the theme, boys. If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Twitter at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page or visit thetopicstrek.com. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't
put on
the
red shirt.
So say we all.
That's your next week catchphrase.
I'm going to go clone myself.
Send in the clones. I don't know what happened. I tried using the crackpot talk button a couple more times and it just won't fire.
It's never swing around when you need them.
I did see your message, Chuck, about audio, but
about 27 minutes or so, your audio just started jumping all over the place.
I checked my settings. Nothing's changed. I don't have the auto
You don't
adjustment.
Okay, so it's not auto adjusting?
No.
In StreamYard.
It's unchecked. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay, that works. Why won't that work?
What's so funny?
It's almost like it lost the file.
To him,
That's
everything.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
Oh, I did find something. Open the predictions. I was looking at, I ran across my predictions from earlier in the year.
Oh, the ones we made at the end of last year.
You're not supposed to check yet.
Yeah, I had one. Oh, where'd it go? I had one. I was like, wow, that was pretty close. But yeah, I'm not gonna look now. I won't talk about too much, but I guess V'ger didn't show back up. Well, kind of. We got the movie.
No. No.
Yeah, a little cheating to say that.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
In all fairness, I was speaking of Discovery, so
let's see. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
Well, I'm gonna end the broadcast. So
oh yes, thank you.
Goodbye to everybody.
Bye. We always do
Bye-bye.
that. We forget on this show more than any other show.